Greetings, Hotep Aguaba, bless up. I am Sis Abana Africa, and I am the recovering African who is enslaved in America. I am also a representative from the voices in the margins. I am true to the cause of African liberation via unification and utilizing the tool of healthy and effective communication. Yes, I'm making this video today as I had to go and work in the community as I have always done for the past 25 years, working in support of our people, blacks and browns. So I did get a chance to make this video a couple of hours ago, at which time I saw the quote unquote reunion of the black family who posted a 12 steps of Afro African program. Interestingly enough, those 12 steps were pretty much similar to the 12-step program that I developed called Racism Non-Anonymous. While I too adapted from the traditional steps of Alcoholics Anonymous to meet the needs and the special and the unique needs of the African descendant, I created that program about 6, 7 years ago. In fact, I introduced it to Umar in my role in his organization, EMIPAT, in order to introduce it to the community and begin to use it to support our healing and recovery. And he and a sister who was working closely with him suggested that they just take it and call it something different. And I thought that was like really like, whoa, we are in deep trouble as an African collective if this is the behaviors and the way of thinking that our young folks were comfortable with doing. Even before I introduced that program to Umar, it was in 2005, I believe, or 2006, when I met not Rashidi, the other dude from California, Marvin X. I met Marvin X. He came to Philadelphia in October of 2006, and it was around that time that I was sort of solidifying the program. And during the course of his visit here to Philadelphia, in which Empress Chi brought him here, I talked with him and shared with him my ideal, because in the course of our conversation, he suggested that people of African descent needed a program to deal with the mental and the addictive nature that we seem to have to European culture. And I said to him then, yeah, and it's like I said, I'm working on it, I'm doing it, and it's just a matter of adapting traditional recovery programs to meet our needs. Well, lo and behold, he left Philadelphia, and within 2 or 3 months, he publishes a book called The 12 Steps for Africans, and he had framed it in a whole different way from what I had done. But because Brother Marvin X had written several books already, he had access to resources to put out a book, and he even had Nathan Hare, who wrote a foreword to that book. But if you already have connections and you already have resources to support you with achieving goals like that, then it's much easier for you to do. So that was the first slap in the face within this quote unquote conscious collective that I received. And that was back in '06. It didn't deter me. I continued to do the work that I was doing and to frame it in the way that I envisioned it and put it out there. No, I don't have money and I don't have resources that many of the men have in particular, and some of the sisters. So for me to see and hear that coming from the black family reunion, it's like, you know what, y'all brotherhood bastards are just wild with your shit. I happen to really know that Tariq Nasheed is the person behind the reunion of the black family. I remember about 6 months ago, maybe, when that page became known on Facebook, and at that time, Tariq showed a picture of yourself, And I asked you a question on that picture because I asked you, you the same Tariq Nasheed that was over at Destiny.com. Because I left, and during the time that in '06 when I first developed this 12-step program, I shared it with the community at AssataSecure.org. And there was a couple of folks who knew me and knew of my work, so when they saw Marvin X put out the book, I was alerted to it. But I shared it first at Assata Secure, and a couple of the brothers over there at Assata Secure, one brother in particular who was very spiritually oriented and apparently rooted and grounded in African traditional religions, ATRs is what they called it, sort of worked to usurp it and call it something different, but kind of say the same thing. All the while, marginalizing, minimizing, denigrating me and my name and my works, always constantly challenging. So it was almost like I just never seemed to fit in, because the men would always sort of come out in such a way so as to denigrate me as a woman who is very highly intelligent and intellectually oriented, very passionate in my belief and my commitment to self first as a woman of African descent and our African collected by the form of the red, black, and green, which you see, I live this. This is not a fad for me. It's not a passing fancy, and I take it to heart. I take it seriously. I live the red, black, and green. I live and work to practice the principles of my in all my affairs. I do not seek to harm people, and I don't seek to steal from people. I have worked tirelessly to build, and what I've come to know is that many of the men, elder and especially younger, are really not interested in building. It's all about competition, control, and competing with each other. It is very sad to see. Now I hear that this person, Ansar Amin, is supposedly had put together the 12 steps for Africans that the reunion of black family is promoting, and it's like, I know that name too. Isn't that the same? I bet you that's the same person who was over at Destiny.com. And after my experience with AssataSecure.org, after a bit, I just left Assata Secure. When I joined Assata Secure, my screen name was Recovering AA. I was then the Recovering African American. And that's how I introduced myself. And when I became aware of this sort of conscious community was via Assata Secure. And my name was Recovering AA at that time. And over time, when I joined Destiny.com, my name was True to the Cause. And under both of those names, I have always promoted the program of Racism Non-Anonymous, the revolutionary 12-step program that has been uniquely designed with the African in mind, designed to support our healing and recovering from the Ma'afic experience that we have had. So the Reunion of Black Family posted it today, earlier this afternoon. I saw it and I asked the question, and I'm like, how is this building? How is this building? And why would you just take it and somebody else just put it out there? It's just so sad, because those are the same very behaviors. But I believe that the face behind the Reunion of the Black Family is in fact Tariq Nasheed. And I know that Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson are very much best buds. And I suspect that Umar is not very happy with me, because I have been talking about and exposing the dynamics of he and I relationship in my efforts to heal and recover from that very painful and extremely traumatic experience. It's very sad to see the state and the behaviors that we are willing to engage in for fame and fortune, I suppose, under the name of liberation. I have never been interested in having a fight nor a debate with Umar. I just asked you to do the right thing, Umar, and apologize for what you did and what you've been doing. I have attempted to work and correct and repair and continue to build with you, and it is clear to me that you're not ready, able, nor willing. You're not capable of doing the next right thing. You're not really capable of practicing the principles of Ma'at. You are so fully entrenched in your own egotistical fame that you cannot see past that. And I understand that. That is consistent with what has happened to us as a collective people. So now the Reunion of Black Family, they posted something. I'm not online over there just yet, but it was said that, oh, anybody could have put these together. And in fact, the person who put together these 12 steps for Africans was a person who, while changing the diapers in 10 minutes, thought this up and wrote this up in 10 minutes. They just simply adapted it from Alcoholics Anonymous. So why should I be given any credit for what I've done? Because anybody and their brother could have done it. Maybe they could have, but they didn't. I have been the one who has been promoting this for the last 6 to 7 years on the internet, and even in my practice in the African community, I've been doing this. And why is it that when this one person writes it up in 10 minutes, then it gets shared by the Reunion of Black Family? When I've been a member of that page, I've liked that page, I've shared that page as shit, and never once have they taken the time to look at and build with other Africans. And then the nerve of this, there's even this white woman that's connected with the Reunion of Black Family who shared that those 12 steps that this other person supposedly put together, and her only response to me when I shared my link on her on that thing was and why, like why was I sharing what I had done? And it's like, oh, see, so you will really take the word of this cracker bitch, and she can come at me, and none of you other brotherhood bastards will say anything. I thank my brother Blanco Ben Sankofa for standing up for me and standing up for right and righteousness, because I know that he knows that this was my creation and that this was my baby. Yes, Marvin X was the first brother of African descent who sort of took it and put his name on it and put his own little spin on it and put it out there, as opposed to simply building with another African and supporting another African with joining the ranks of those of us who are working for our liberation. But instead of doing that, you shit on me and you take my shit and you run with it. Where's the building in that? Brother Marvin X had already written 5, 6, 7 books. Why do you need to take another and make another one? Why not help another brother or sister in the margins? And that's why I say I'm a representative from the Voices in the Margins, because this is the kind of shit that happens to us all the time, from those of you who see yourself above us, and that is part of the problem. And as long as you all continue to do that shit, then we will still be in a whole bunch of shit, and that's so sad. So I'm making this video because I would like folks to know I need to work my program. I need to remember and tell the truth about some terrible shit that just happened to me. I need to talk through what happened so to help me make sense and to get it out and to externalize this shit. Because that's what it is, a bunch of bullshit, and it's a bunch of foul bullshit. And you, Tariq Nasheed, and you, Umar Johnson, and watch, you mark my words, next Umar and the other Brotherhood bastards who are up top will begin to talk about trauma and traumatic stress. They will begin to talk about it and teach about it. They will specifically focus on traumatic stress of the human intentional type. They will put their own spin on it, and they will never give me credit. But instead of saying, hey, this is what this sister offers, let's bring her in and let's build, you can't do that. But that's what it's about, brothers and sisters. That's what it's about. And for a lot of folks, Kentucky, you know I developed this program. You know of the nights that I have practiced this program. I am a clinician. I am a therapist. I am a mental health practitioner. I've been working in the field much longer than Brother Umar, who is a quote-unquote a school-certified psychologist. I am a master's level social worker. I'm a PhD educated marriage and family therapist. I have been working with people of African descent and those surviving in poverty for the last 25 years. I am a child of alcoholic family members, and I have worked up my own program of recovery before I went into the educational practice. I am a black social worker, and always have been. I have always been rooted and grounded in the knowledge of our African scholars in everything that I did. I live and I breathe and I talk and I teach it. That I do not get necessarily the same level of credit and support, I suspect is A, because I'm female, B, because I'm very dark skinned, and C, I'm very intelligent. And then D, because I come from a generation where everything is linked to feminism. I was a child during the feminist movement, so yes, I grew up in that period when women became liberated. But I also came off of the heels of the civil rights movement. So my early learnings, my early years from 0 to 5 was listening to Malcolm, listening to Martin, and listening to the people in the communities talk about the African liberation. It was watching and seeing what happened to the Black Panther Party. It was watching and seeing all of that shit. And all of that I took with me as I continued to grow. But I had that foundation of truth and righteousness for liberation for us before going through the other years, my adult years, and then coming back full circle in terms of benefiting from education. But at that point, I mean, like, I paid my way and paid my dues all throughout my life. And for people like Umar and Tariq and all you other, whoever you people are behind the screen, and yet the Ansar, whoever you are from Destiny.com, I remember you, and I remember the play on words and the name. And I remember the men over at Destiny.com who also treated me like shit. Thank you very much, Brother Clyde Cougar Jr., who took Destiny.com and took it in a whole Christian direction and fame. And pathway, rather. And Ansar, you were one of the people who were over there. And there's that other guy, Slope, whatever your name was. And it, you know, so I remember shit. I remember shit, and I see the connections, I see patterns, because that's who I am and what I do. You know, you all will continue to do what you do, but the sad reality is, as long as you keep doing the same shit and expecting different results for the African collective, that's what will happen. You will continue to have those expectations. And the program of recovery teaches us that expectations is a setup for resentment. But who is going to be doing the resenting? It's going to be your children and your children's grandchildren. Because you are building a foundation based on bullshit. And if nothing else I've learned in this life is that if you build it on bullshit, you put bullshit in, you're going to get bullshit out. So you all can continue to do what you're doing and know that what you're setting up for the future generations is more bullshit. And so that's another reason really why I'm making this video, for the younger folks to see and to know. This is part and parcel of the problem that we have continued to experience as a collective, and it's why we have not been able to get out of the shit that we're in. I won't be around a whole hell of a lot longer if it's up to me. However, I know that it's not just totally up to me. That I am part of a bigger picture and a bigger purpose and a bigger mission. And I'm okay with that too. And so that's about it. That's all I had to say. But I just, I needed to say something about all this shit. Go on the brotherhood, the black reunion, the reunion of the black family. The reunion, and well, this is a reunion of the black family, because I don't know about you all, but most black families that I know, including mine, most certainly engages in these type of bullshit behaviors. And it's more than the reunion at this point. It's about a reconstitution and a reconstruction of what we know to be the black family. Because that was one of the things that when I was growing up, family meant something more than what people are doing now. And one of the problems with the whole notion of black family is everything, is that family are usually the ones who get a pass. They are the ones who are excused from their intentional harming of you. Well, it's family. So if they do some bullshit, well, it's family, and you're still supposed to love them and embrace them. And no, it's about something different now. And I'm not going to say a whole lot more. It's just all coming together in my book. And this will just be another example of the same book. This is another reason why I call myself the traumatized traumatologist, because I continue to experience shit like this, and it's very stressful because I have no control over your choice to engage in bullshit behaviors that come at me, you know, as the external forces that are intended to cause you harm, and it is of the human intentional type that is traumatically stressful, and to greater or lesser degrees do we experience traumatic stress. But I'm not saying anymore because Umar going to sort of try to teach you all about trauma, but it's like you people don't know how to get in your own fucking lane and stay in your own lane. We want to be all over the place and in this and doing this and be it all the time, and it's like, that's the problem, people. That's the problem. Learn to share. Learn to build. However, you know, when little boys begin building with their little Legos, they got to tear down somebody else's. They can't keep their asses focused. It's like, you know, you have a collective ADHD or ADD, you know. So I guess that's why you could talk about it so well, Umar, because you demonstrated in many ways. And Tariq supports you because he's just like you, and you all behave like big damn bullies instead of learning how to practice the principles of Ma'at. Be humble and share. It's just as really as simple as that. That's it, y'all. Peace.